Hey everyone, this is Radio Calling, the podcast directed towards everything sports and music. Today is the sports edition of my podcast. Today I will be discussing the NBA Finals. This will probably be the last NBA type episode there will be for a while until the NBA draft starts and the NBA free agency starts as well. So diving right in, the Golden State Warriors defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers to claim their second title in 3 years. This is Kevin Durant's first NBA title, and he also was named MVP. And there's a lot of people that are saying, Kevin Durant shouldn't be deserved of the MVP and get an NBA championship just because he took the easy way, quote unquote, to get an NBA championship, leaving the Oklahoma City Thunder and joining the super team of Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and then Kevin Durant is now on that team as well. And I'm indifferent. There's one part of me that is happy for Kevin Durant just because of the love he has for his mother, and anybody that saw the post-game celebrations, him and his mother were celebrating, and that was a touching moment. And that's anybody that's played sports. You kind of have that same feeling because your mom is kind of that driving force when you play for sports. Excuse me. Me personally, my mom was a person that drove me to and from practices mainly, and was an avid supporter. Everything I did, she was there. And this is coming from a household where, basketball runs in our blood. My dad is a college basketball coach, and, from a very early age, it was basketball. And then once I started playing basketball, through the YMCA and through middle school and stuff like that, my mom was always the one that would drop me off because my dad would be at practice or he would have games. And it was something that, my mom would always make sure that I had what I needed to and the tools that I needed to develop as an NBA, or not an NBA, as a basketball player. And once I quit basketball and kind of, quote unquote, retired from it and took up music, she was always there too. She was always at my jazz concerts and things of that nature. So that moment with Kevin Durant that hits home with me. I'm sure anybody else who's ever played a sport, that hits home with them as well. Whether it's your mother or your father, that kind of driving force in that kind of your development again. But there, on the other hand, there's people, myself included, that think that this super team shouldn't be allowed. I would agree with that. LeBron James even commented that. He said he was never on a super team, and I disagree with that as well. LeBron touched on this. There's a difference in Kevin Durant joining the Warriors and LeBron James going to the Heat. The super team in the Heat wasn't really already there when LeBron got there. It kind of formed once Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and LeBron James were already kind of a year in, and they kind of grew or built around those three, adding role players and veterans as well. But the Warriors, completely different story. The Warriors already had a championship before Kevin Durant got there, and now they have another one, second one in 3 years, and it's a weird kind of scenario. And again, it's kind of it's the same thing. And I've referred to this before, but I am not a fan of super teams. I think everybody's just trying to get that NBA championship, and no one wants to compete anymore to get back to an NBA championship or get an NBA championship with your team that you have right now. Russell Westbrook is a big example of that. You don't see him leaving. He's always trying to get better, and hopefully he's going to be MVP of this year. You see other people from different generations: Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas. They all didn't. When Michael Jordan kept on getting beat by the Detroit Pistons. You didn't see him going to the Pistons and joining forces with them. You saw him getting better and trying to be better every game so he could get over that hump of beating the Pistons. The same with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Larry Bird would beat Magic Johnson, and Magic Johnson didn't, join the Celtics. He would try to get better, and a lot of it's building around your stars. I understand that. Kind of Westbrook's kind of the big example of not really having another scorer, role player person beside him. It's basically him doing everything, and you see the same with LeBron, and so to speak. He's been avid saying we need another scorer. Kyrie is not a scorer apparently, but Kyrie can put up 30, 40 points. I don't think Kevin Love was the best choice in getting that trade and getting that going, but I'm hearing a lot of words that Kevin Love is on his way out, and hopefully potentially going to Indiana, and then Paul George would go to Cavaliers, which would give them another scorer. So also talks of Carmelo Anthony going to the Cavaliers as well. It'll be interesting, and I've said this before. It'll be interesting to watch free agency in the NBA draft and what goes on in the coming months. So it's going to be very exciting, but I'm a little sad that the NBA season's over. Although the NBA Finals was a little boring, I'm always sad to see basketball off the air. Now it's full baseball mode for me. The New York Yankees is a team that I backed. I've backed them ever since Derek Jeter was there. I touched on this in my podcast when I talked about Derek Jeter and just saluting Derek Jeter, but Derek Jeter was the reason I played baseball, and it was Derek Jeter and Michael Jordan, but more Derek Jeter. I wanted to be a fielder like Derek Jeter. But anyways, I'm in full Yankees mode now. The only thing that I root for right now is the New York Yankees, because that's the only kind of major sport that's going on right now. And then, of course, the NHL is over. The Pittsburgh Penguins won. Again, second time back to back, actually. It's been a while since someone's gone back to back, but Pittsburgh Penguins pulled it off and got back to back Stanley Cup championships. So, congrats to them. Not a huge Pittsburgh Penguins fan. I am an Anaheim Ducks fan, and Ducks have a lot of improvements to make. Hopefully, we have a good offseason, get some key players. But anyways, going back to the NBA, hopefully this is the last time I talk about this person. I highly doubt it, but we'll see. Lavar Ball went on Jimmy Kimmel, and he was talking about Michael Jordan again. And he said that he can beat Michael Jordan one-on-one. And he said, and I quote, "He's too small. He's too little. If you weigh 210 pounds, we're playing one-on-one. You know I'm undefeated in one-on-one, right? I don't lose one-on-one. If you play me one-on-one, he'd cry." And then Jimmy Kimmel said, "Would you play him right now?" And, LeVar again said, "Yes, I would beat him." I highly doubt Michael Jordan now let me rephrase. Michael Jordan right now would probably beat LeVar Ball 10 times out of 10. Again, I hate LeVar Ball with passion. I have no opinion about Lorenzo Ball. Lorenzo Ball doesn't talk, because LeVar Ball talks the whole time. But, watching the interview on Jimmy Kimmel, Lorenzo Ball didn't say much. Only get in a couple words. Yeah, no, I don't know, maybe. Stuff like that. It was basically LeVar Ball taking the whole, interview and doing what he wills with it. And, we don't know much about Lorenzo Ball outside of the UCLA community and the California state. Me, myself, I didn't know this person existed until last year when they started talking about him after the NCAA tournament ended. So, This guy could be a good player. This guy could do some things for wherever he goes. He could be a flop. He could pull a Sam Bowie, but we don't know. And he doesn't really talk. He doesn't talk that much, and he doesn't get the opportunity to talk. So he could have a great personality and a very charismatic person. We don't know. Lavar Ball talks the whole time, and at some point you just got to say you need to shut up and let this guy talk for himself. But time will only tell if that happens. It'll be interesting when they get to the NBA and what is done to LeVar Ball, not only during NBA games but off the court. I sense something is going to happen, and it's not going to be good. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's LeVar Ball fighting someone. Maybe it's LeVar Ball trying to fight a fan, getting kicked out of an arena, something like that. Pull a Charles Oakley, something. Go after the owner. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting where he gets drafted and where he ends up playing, obviously. But another thing about the Ball family is that Lorenzo held a workout with the Lakers by himself, a private workout. I believe I mentioned this earlier, but I will reiterate. He had a private workout with the Lakers. LeVar Ball was not allowed to be in the practice facility. And then Lorenzo went out with Luke Walton and a few other people from the LA Lakers. And LeVar Ball was not in attendance for that as well. So maybe there's something there. Maybe it's just something that, LA Lakers are trying to get to know this person because, again, this person doesn't talk and you don't know what kind of personality this guy has because, LeVar Ball controls 98.9% of that interview or any interview that he is a part of. So, again, time will only tell where this guy goes, what kind of personality he has, but I am looking forward to the NBA draft just to see what the Celtics do with their number one pick, if they actually keep it or if they trade it. I'm hearing a lot of rumors about both, trading it or keeping it, but it'll be interesting who they pick. But I'm also hearing, talking about the Celtics, I'm also hearing free agency rumors. Hayward from the Utah Jazz, his contract is up, and he's going to become a free agent. So there's talks about him going to the Celtics, which I think would be a good fit because he was Brad Stevens' coach. Brad Stevens was his coach back in college for Butler. So, they have that kind of chemistry there. And then, you team him up with Isaiah Thomas and then Crowder down the middle. It'll be a good mix. They had the number one seed in the playoffs, number one record in the East. So you can only grow from there. Hopefully they give Cavaliers a run for their money, more than they did in the playoffs. So maybe with a healthy Isaiah Thomas and Hayward coming in, that'll be something that'll kind of build that dynasty back to, back when they were with Rondo, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett. So we'll see. Again, a lot of it's speculation. A lot of it's just different rumors going around Twitter that I've heard about this. But it'll be interesting, very, very interesting. Now, a lot of people around this area. I live in Wisconsin. A lot of people are all excited about the Milwaukee Brewers in first place. And I keep saying it's still early. It's not even All-Star break yet. Everybody knows around this area, or at least I'm just the only one that can see straight around here. Milwaukee Brewers, after the All-Star break, just start tanking and just start being garbage. It happens every year. It's a calling card for Milwaukee Brewers. Start out great. Get in first place. You're ahead of the Cubs. Everybody's going nuts around here because you're ahead of the Cubs. Big freaking whoop. All-Star break happens, and then like a week after that, everything just starts going down the tube. People getting injured, blowing leads, blowing saves, all this stuff, and then Brewers don't make the playoffs. I mean, it's good to be hopeful for a team, and it's good to acknowledge when your team's in first. But it's the baseball season is so long, and you can't stay in first for that long without some sort of losing streak, something happening. I mean, unless you have like a 30-point game over your second place team, then I'll be more lenient on this. But still, come on, let's get with the times here. Let's wait until after All-Star break to get all excited about the Milwaukee Brewers and see what happens after that. So that's just my 2 cents about that. Again, congratulations, Milwaukee Brewers, I guess, because you're in first place. I mean, when's the last time you were in first place? I don't know. I really don't know. So there's that. I mean, it's just I guess it's my fault for living in Wisconsin, but still, Wisconsin's kind of split down the middle with Cubs fans and Brewer fans. A lot of people are for Cubs fans, a lot of people for Brewer fans, and then of course last year when the Cubs won everything, a lot of those Brewer fans jumped ship, went over to the bandwagon Cubs fans, and just started liking people that were the big names. And let me back up. This is what angers me about Cubs fans, or Cubs fans that are from Wisconsin. A lot of them like the main people. Ben Zobrist. I don't know, that cute guy that girls like. I don't even remember what his name is. I'm just so rattled at the moment. But it's those people, and they don't remember the team that lost to the Florida Marlins. They couldn't name one person from that team. I could name several. Mark Pryor, Kerry Wood, Sammy Sosa was on that team as well. So there's 3 right there. I mean, people could probably name one, Sammy Sosa, but still, Mark Pryor, I remember him. I liked Mark Pryor. Kerry Wood, good Lord, that guy was just dominant on the mound. I mean, there's those kind of fans. The diehard Cubs fan, I salute you. Congratulations to you for winning a title. First time in 109 years. You deserve a title. These bandwagon jumpers that get on this Cubs bandwagon as of late last year, these people anger me. These people, you need to at least do some history lessons. I mean, come on. If you don't know who Ernie Banks is, that's a red flag. You should know who that is. If you don't know, the greats, if you don't know, the backstory of Bartman or any of the history of Wrigley Field, you need to be slapped in the face, and you need to, do some research if you're actually going to be a fan of the Cubs. Now, I know what you're going to say. What about me? What about me and the Yankees? I already told you this. I started liking the Yankees back when Derek Jeter was playing. Jeter kind of got on my radar early, and then I started watching more what I could when SportsCenter was on and watching those highlights, and they would always talk about Derek Jeter. But it's not just Derek Jeter that I liked. I like Bernie Williams, Ichiro. Ichiro played for the Yankees. I like Ichiro. Randy Johnson played for the Yankees as well. Matsui, I loved Matsui. Alfonso Soriano, I liked him as well. All these people, the core 4, love the core 4. But I also know my history. It's not just Babe Ruth. It's Lou Gehrig. It's Mickey Mantle. It's people of that nature. I know those people. I know that history. And Reggie Jackson, I know about these people. And, when Roger Clemens was pitching for the Yankees, and I did some research because I wanted to know about him, because I remember him playing for the Houston Astros, and I remember him playing for the Yankees. And then I went back, and then I found out through history that he played for the Red Sox. A similar thing with Babe Ruth. He played for the Red Sox. He was a pitcher for the Red Sox at one point. And, a lot of people don't do the research of these people or of these teams. A lot of the bandwagon fans that jumped ship when the Cubs started winning, it's just one of those things that that really angers me about the game of baseball. But it's not just the game of baseball that it does. It's a lot of sports. A lot of people started going after the Warriors when they started winning, when Steph Curry won the MVP. A lot of people can't name anybody besides Steph Curry or Klay Thompson or Draymond Green. You got to remember the days of Baron Davis, when it was Baron Davis's house and he ran the whole show of that team. And you got to remember, Don Nelson when he was coaching. I'm pretty sure he's still the winningest coach in NBA history. You got to remember him as well. He coached the Warriors for several years. And I remember when Monte Ellis was with the Warriors as well. But, this is one of the things that I hate about sports is when bandwagon jumpers think that they know everything about their team. And you go to check them and you shut them down. That's one of the things that I hate and love at the same time. So, that's all I'm going to say about that. It's just bandwagon jumpers. If you're going to jump ship, do your research, and when you get checked, don't get angry, because you'll find people that are diehards like me, checking bandwagon jumpers and making sure that if that's the ultimate test to see if you're a bandwagon jumper or not. If you can answer one of the questions, name me a player from the Chicago Cubs team that played the Florida Marlins and lost to the Florida Marlins. If you can't name me someone besides Sammy Sosa, if you don't know who Ernie Banks is, or if you don't know who Mickey Mantle is, or if you don't know who Lou Gehrig is, you need to do some research and really, really go into the sport besides the key players and the stars that are in the NBA now, MLB right now, stuff like that. Well, that'll do it for another episode of Radio Calling. Join me next week when we will discuss more sports. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at LondonCalling22, all one word. Also, be sure to press that subscribe button to hear more latest Radio Calling episodes. Again, I am Sam, and we'll see you next week.